With so many new car brands entering the Philippine car market, it can be quite easy to overlook some of the players from the land of the rising sun. Now, one such contender is the Subaru XV. Crosstrek, which occupies the semi-premium subcompact crossover space. Now, in this video, we get to live with and drive the base trim Subaru Crosstrek 2.0 i-L eyesight, and we get to see if this vehicle still deserves a spot in your garage. Let's do this. When I think of Subaru, two things come to mind: rally racing and outdoor adventures. The Subaru Crosstrek embodies the latter, and you can immediately see it in its styling and its driving behavior. Previously known as the Subaru XV, the Crosstrek name change makes me anticipate that this SUV has received a lot of changes from before. And I'd also expect as much, since this base trim Crosstrek 2.0 i-L eyesight commands a pretty penny. You see, coming in at a hair below 2 million Philippine pesos, the base Crosstrek seeks to deliver the complete package of performance, safety, and a premium driving experience. The question is, does it deliver in all of those areas? And most importantly, amidst the numerous options now available at its price segment, can it justify its asking price? Let's find out.
Here at Reagan's Rides, we do car reviews of SUVs, sports cars, trucks, and everything in between. So subscribe and hit the bell.
Alright, I'll cut to the chase. If you're expecting that the Crosstrek would be vastly different from the previous XV, well, you are going to be very disappointed. You see, Subaru was never known to be a radical car brand when it comes to model changes, and you can see that in this Crosstrek. In fact, my sister drives a 6-year-old XV, and yes, this, my friends, is practically the same car. Now, if you're wondering why they changed the name, well, it's not really new, it's not really new because the XV has been sold as the Crosstrek in the US for many, many years. So what exactly do we get here? Well, first we have the exact same engine and transmission as before, which is a 2-liter naturally aspirated flat 4 or boxer engine, and it produces 156 PS and 196 Newton meters of maximum torque. Now we also have a lineartronic CVT that sends power to all 4 wheels via Subaru's, symmetrical all-wheel drive system. Now that explains, that all-wheel drive system, that explains why this Crosstrek feels so sure-footed and planted on the road, especially when you're driving through rainy conditions like what we have now. Now this, my friends, is a unique Subaru trait. Now we also have 3 drive modes here, which is Intelligent, Sport, and X mode, which is, it's mainly used for off-roading. Now the default setting in your drive mode is Intelligent, but I have to say, guys, that I find it too weak, especially on highway drives or when I need to overtake, Now, there is some throttle delay in Intelligent mode, and you can also feel the rubber band effect of the CVT transmission, and I'm not really a big fan of that. Now, thankfully though, the Sport button is found conveniently on the steering wheel, and I found myself spending most of my time driving this vehicle in Sport mode. You see, I get better throttle response, and the CVT becomes a bit more responsive. Now, mind you, mga dudes, it's still not STI levels, but it's still decent enough for my daily drives. Now, one of the biggest advantages of the Crosstrek is the outward visibility. You see, the dashboard and the beltline are mounted really low, and we have some small windows on your A-pillars. So yes, even vertically challenged dudes like myself would find this very, very easy to drive. Now the seats though are on the stiffer side, and the ride itself is a bit stiff as well, as expected from, it is an off-road capable SUV, so that explains the ride stiffness. But it also kind of feels wallowy and floaty. on highway drive. So maybe that's because of the higher ground clearance. Now, we have a hefty steering feel here. I love how they've tuned the steering wheel. You know, it's nice and hefty. It's a perfect balance for me, and it feels much better than most, let's say, American and Chinese SUVs out there, which tend to be more on the overboosted side. However, though, the steering sharpness is not really the best in the bunch. You know, it's not the sharpest tool that or vehicle that I've tested out. But yeah, as I said, it's still much better than most American and Chinese car brands out there. Now, essentially, mga dudes, here's the thing. My drive experience with a Crosstrek is pretty close to the previous XV. You know, it's very, very familiar. So, what else have changed in this vehicle aside from its name?
Now, while the exterior design of the Crosstrek looks pretty close to the previous XV, well, this media unit that I have comes with a GT body kit. Now, in my opinion, this GT body kit, it kind of elevates the overall look and design of this base trim Crosstrek. Now, what do we get here? Well, first up, we have LED headlight units here, although the turn signals are still in halogen, and we also have a set of halogen fog lights, which also doubles as your daytime running lights. Now, if you want LED fog lights, well, you'll have to go up to the higher S trim. Now, we also have a front grille here that is signature Subaru, and because we have the GT body kit, well, we have these plastic inserts on the middle part of the bumper there, and we also have some canards, some side canards on the sides of the front bumper, which should help with aerodynamics. Now, we also have a silver painted front chin right here, which looks really good, although it will give the ground clearance a little bit of a hit. In fact, going up my steep parking ramp in my condominium building, I had to be very careful bringing the the Crosstrek up my parking ramp and down my parking ramp, because yes, that front chin might hit. So I have to do the Shete maneuver in order to clear that front bumper, front chin. Now, the side profile continues to benefit from that GT body kit. You see, we get additional plastic claddings here at the bottom part of the doors, plus we have a silver painted side skirt, which, truth be told, mga dudes, those additional claddings and that side skirt really goes well with the plastic claddings that are found on the wheel wells. Now, speaking of wheel wells, when you go over to the front wheel well, you'll see that we have actual air vents here, which is a pretty nice touch. Now, this being the base trim Subaru Crosstrek, we get blacked out 17-inch alloy wheels here. We have a fully independent suspension, and of course, we get 4-wheel disc brakes. Now, the brochure says that the Crosstrek has a ground clearance of 220 millimeters, but because of that GT body kit, I reckon that the ground clearance would be closer to, let's say, maybe 200 millimeters. Yeah, most likely. Anyway. Alright, so the Crosstrek cabin is familiar because it's essentially the same as the previous XV. Now, this, my friends, is a functional cabin, but it won't really win any awards when it comes to plushness or luxury. You see, the base trim has fabric seats, but since we have the GT package upgrade, we now get full leather seats here that come with red piping. Now, we don't get ventilation or a heating function, and even a power adjustment function for your front seats, but that's just a reminder that you are still in the base trim Crosstrek 2.0i-L. Now, we have a leather-wrapped steering wheel here that has the same button format as before, and we also have paddle shifters. And if you'll notice, you also can adjust the steering wheel for tilt and telescoping, which is great news for taller drivers out there. Now, I love the fact that we have the same button format as before, which means that most of the main functions that you need to access while driving is just the push of a button away, especially that S and I button, which I've always been using. Now, we also have paddle shifters here, and when you check out, the gauge cluster, you'll notice that we still have an analog gauge format here, which some purists and some traditionalists would appreciate. And but when you go over to the touchscreen infotainment system here, you'll see that we have a vertically inclined 11.6-inch touchscreen infotainment system that comes with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and the image of a 360-degree view camera. Oh yes, mga dude pare. I mean, the reviewers of the Crosstrek before kind of complained that it only got a reverse camera, but it seems that for 2025, well, we now have an upgrade in that segment. See, we now have a 360-degree view camera image here, which is pretty good. Now, we also have some of the buttons integrated into this infotainment system. We have the auto hold button, it's already there, and we also have your, if you want to turn off the engine start-stop system, it's also here. Now, another button that I'm missing now is a dedicated button for the X mode, which is the off-road mode of the Subaru Crosstrek. It's now located right here. Wait, hold on. There, see, there you are. Oh, it's located right here. There you see, on your touchscreen infotainment system, and it is, well, a convenient location. Now, another major upgrade for the cabin of the Crosstrek would be the addition of a wireless charging pad for this base trim. That is also a welcome addition. And yeah, we have the usual gear shifter here, plus an electronic park brake with, well, as I said, with an auto hold function, which you have to access in the infotainment system. Now, as far as the layout of the cabin is concerned and the cabin materials, well, it kind of leans more towards the rugged and durable side, which means that we have a bunch of hard plastics here. Dashboard is hard plastic, door cars is hard plastic, and we also have some cloth inserts here, which I'm not really a big fan of. Yeah, this will get dirty in no time. And yeah, we have a bunch of hard plastics all around. I mean, everywhere I knock, it's all hard plastics, which is great because, well, it's an off-road vehicle supposedly, but given that this is almost 2 million Philippine pesos, yeah, I didn't really expect to get this much hard plastics in a vehicle that costs nearly 2 million Philippine pesos.
Another thing I didn't expect in a 2 million Philippine peso vehicle is the level of the NVH, or noise vibration and harshness. You see, I am quite surprised that at highway speeds of 80 kph, we are at 80 kph now, the wind noise is on the louder side, and I do hear some of the road noise as well, the tire noise. Now, other reviewers say that the Crosstrek is quiet and refined. Dude, those are rumble strips. Yeah, most likely my mic is canceling that out, but it really gets into the cabin. Now, other reviewers say it's quiet and refined, but mga dudes, it's not really my experience with this Crosstrek, this drive, you know. It's on the noisy side, all right? Now, I'm thinking, my theory here is, yeah, it's probably the additional GT body kit that's making all of that wind noise. I mean, yeah, it's pretty possible, right? It's possible. Now, as for the fuel economy, with a light foot and in light city traffic, I still got around 9 kilometers per liter, and on the highway, I was able to reach 18 kilometers per liter. Now, that's not bad for a crossover that's equipped with a full-time all-wheel drive system. Although, yeah, in heavy city traffic, since we have a 2-liter boxer engine here, yeah, it kind of drinks gas, mga dudes. I was only able to get 5 kilometers per liter. So, yeah, that's even with a start-stop system in play. Now, as for safety, I have to say that Subaru's EyeSight 4.0 is one of the best in the business. Low speed follow is really good, and adaptive cruise control and the lane keep assist, fantastic mga dudes. In fact, I have both systems on right now while I'm talking to you guys, which helps me deliver my spiel for this segment. Now, I'm wondering though, why the Crosstrek doesn't get blind spot monitors? I mean, we have a fantastic Subaru EyeSight system, but we don't have something as simple as a blind spot monitor. I mean, it's a simple safety feature that should have been included, especially in a vehicle that costs nearly 2 million Philippine pesos. But, well, mga dudes, yeah, it is what it is. So, yeah. Anyway, let's go and check out the back seat. Alright, so the back seat space is decent enough for 2 average adults, and you can put a third one in the middle, although it's not really the most recommended because we have a really tall center tunnel there to accommodate the drive shaft of your all-wheel drive system. Now, the space here at the back seat is, yes, pretty decent for a subcompact crossover, although you might get a tad bit warm here at the back seat, especially during the summer months because we don't get rear AC vents. In fact, We get zero amenities here in the back seat of the Crosstrek, which is, yeah, it's something that I didn't expect to get in a vehicle that's almost 2 million Philippine pesos. We don't have a center armrest, we don't have charge ports here. Heck, we don't even get cup holders. I mean, dude, what's up? Diba, Subaru? Kawawa naman the rear passengers. But well, as I said, it is what it is.
Alright, so I must admit that the rear-end design of the Subaru Crosstrek is pretty eye-catching. You see, we have these crab claw-shaped LED taillight units there, plus we've got a bunch of plastic cladding which has been elevated in terms of look because we have that rear skirt coming from that GT body kit. In fact, we have a pair of what looks like dual exhaust pipes there, but they're just, a design. They're not really exhaust pipes. They're part of the GT package. Now, we do get a power liftgate here, which quietly opens to reveal 328 liters of cargo capacity. So that's not really a lot, 328 liters is not really a lot, but it's still decent enough for a large tanker luggage. You can put that there, and you still have some space for smaller items around it. Now, if you need more space than that, you can always fold down or split fold the back seats, which should help you accommodate maybe around 2 to 3 balikbayan boxes. Now, underneath the cargo floor, we get a donut spare tire as well, which is perfect for emergencies. For me, the Subaru Crosstrek is a jack of all trades, master of none. It has a rugged and outdoorsy design plus all-wheel drive, but the added GT body kit limits some of its off-road capabilities. It also gives a sporty drive, but not the fire-breathing performance that you'd expect from its rally heritage. It also has just the right amount of tech and safety, but for the price, we are still missing some key safety features. Now, at the end of the day, the Subaru Crosstrek would appeal to people who prefer the familiar and comfortable layout of a Subaru and prefer to drive with the assurance and safety of an all-wheel drive vehicle. Thanks for watching.